Alrighty. Okay, so we're going over this today, hashtag 95, and the date 12/10/19. Alright, so I'm hoping you guys were doing some of this. I'm going to show you something here. I probably shouldn't, but I'm going to anyway, because quite sadly, there's people that don't listen because they have both earbuds in, or at least just one earbud in, or playing with their phone right now. Okay, but some multiplication and stuff. Yeah, no skills on multiplication. So, I'm going to show you guys this right here. So I multiply the coefficients, the numbers out front. So 3 times 4 is 12, right? So 12, and I times I gives me I squared. But yesterday I said I squared is what? Negative 1. So it's going to be 12 times negative 1, which is negative 12. Okay, same thing goes over here. So this is 4 times negative 3. So that's going to be negative 12. And then I times I, again, I squared. And that I squared is negative 1, so that's going to make it into positive 12. Okay, right here, negative 2 times negative 5 is negative 10. I'm sorry, positive 10. So it's positive 10 I squared, which is going to give me negative 10. Right here, negative 5, positive 5, negative 25 I squared, which is going to give me positive 25. And this right here says I'm squaring everything. So it's negative 5 times negative 5 is positive 25. And then I squared, so gives me negative 25. Pretty basic, right? Anyone here struggling with this? Okay. Not so much in this class. I have some people with single-digit grades in my other classes, and I asked them to do 3 divided by 1, and they had to pull out a calculator. I got scared. So, this is not for you guys, because you guys already got this. This is for people that need help because they don't know what multiply is. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring up my calculator. You guys play along with us so you can see this. So, your calculator, and bring up Scratchpad. Now, I changed the setting for everyone, but I want you to go through and make sure you know how to do it, because your calculator, when you get it, might not actually work. So I'm going to go through this. Document. Settings. Document settings. So see this right here? It says real, right? No? You're not there yet? Okay, so are you in Scratchpad? Did you open up Scratchpad? Okay, now hit Doc. Settings, so that's number 7. And Document Settings, number 2. See where it says real or complex now?
It says rectangular.
Okay, you're right. It says rectangular. So, I set it for you guys already. So, if you want it to actually work, it has to be in rectangular. Before class, I set up all your guys' calculators. So, if you pick up your calculator and it's not working, and it says no real solution, then you would have to change this. So, right here, rectangular, make default. Okay? So now from there, let's see, what was that first one? 4i times 3i. 4. Now, I is a number, not a letter. So you have to go right here where the pi button is. If you use the letter I, it's not going to work. I times 3i. Press the pi button. It's on the bottom left-hand corner. and it brings up a little menu, and there's your I. That's the I you have to use. You cannot use the letter I. They're different things. Does that make sense? Okay, so you guys are going to be fine. You guys know how to multiply. So people that are struggling, don't be afraid right here. All right, so let's go back to this. So matching this. So I'm going to go over here. So I'm going to match these to these. So I'm going to go through and actually do each one of these. So I'm going to give you guys a moment, about a minute. I want you to try and do all of column A, and all of them have to be one of the answers in column B. So if you get something that's not in column B, that's not the right answer. So I'm going to give you a minute. I want you on your own right now trying to figure out what column A comes out to be. All right, let's go through and look to see what you got. So, first one, I should have 35i. Second one, 35i squared, which is negative 35. This is going to give me a negative 3. This should be a 9i squared, which is a negative 9. This is going to be negative. We did this one yesterday, if you guys remember, the I to the third power. So that's going to be negative 8i. This one, I to the fourth, should be a positive 1. Negative I squared. So the I squared is a negative 1, and there's also a negative out front. So that makes a positive 1. And then negative I squared. So I'm squaring the negative also. The negative negative makes a positive, and it's I squared, which is also a negative 1. So let's see what we got there. Am I missing something?
Yeah.
What am I missing?
Another one.
So let's see. Let's see if it lines up. So this one goes to that, negative 3 goes there, negative 9 goes there, negative 8i goes there. I have a negative 1, right?
That's negative.
One of these is a negative?
It says we need a positive 9.
Yeah, we're missing a positive 9 here, aren't we? So I'm not getting a positive 9 out of one of those ones. So I got that one goes there, right? So I have a positive 9 and something's missing, and I might have copied it wrong when I actually did the worksheet. So, all right, guess we're matching up those. One of them is missing the 9, so hey, look, watch this. I'll do this here. Bam, there we go. All right, I'll make adjustments on it later. I'll turn this one into it. All right, so let's take a look. Okay, so now we're going to go through and look at these ones down here. It says multiplying complex numbers. So when we do these, we have to do a distribution. So we're going to distribute these together. So when we do our distribution, I'm going to multiply this into the bigger one here, or this is a 2 by 2, which I would FOIL. So let's go ahead and start with this. So it's negative 3 times 5i is negative 15i, and positive 9i times positive 5i, that's going to be 45i squared, right? So it's positive 45i squared. But it also has to be in this order right here too. So I squared is negative 1. So the 45 becomes a real, and this is my imaginary. So this was going to give me 45, negative 45, minus 15i. Okay, so now I'm going to do the box method for this next one. Okay, because multiplying two of these together seems to give some issues. So I'm going to use box method. So it's 8i, and then it's going to be negative 5 and positive 3i. So I'm using the box method now to actually multiply them. So 8 and negative 5 is negative 40. Negative 5 times I is negative 5i. 3i times 8 is my 24i. And 3i times I is going to be 3i squared, which becomes negative 3. Now we need to put it in order. So if I did this correctly, and I put it in order, my first one and last one shouldn't have i's. So as I combine these two together, I should come up with negative 43. And when I combine these two together, it's going to be a positive 19i. All right, if you guys got lined paper underneath, go ahead. We're going to do the box method again for this. I just don't know where my scratch paper went. Under my pile of mess I have here. Here it is. Okay, so we're going to do the next one, which says I have 3 plus 2i squared. So if it's going to be like that, I'm going to rewrite it first. It's 3 plus 2i times 3 plus 2i. Then I'm going to box method again. 3 and 2i. 3 and 2i. Three times 3 is going to give me 9. 3 times 2i is 6i. 2i times 3 is 6i. 2i times 2i is 4i squared, which becomes negative 4. Now we're going to combine like terms again. So I have a 9 and a negative 4, which is 5. And then 6 and 6, which gives me plus 12i. And let's take a look at that last one, which is 3 plus 2i and 3 minus 2i. So now for this one, I'm going to again box 3, 2i, 3, negative 2i. So doing my multiplication, 3 times 3 gives me 9. 3 times 2i is 6i. Negative 2 times positive 3, negative 6i. And then negative 2i and positive 2i. So negative and a positive makes it a negative 4. But the I squared makes it positive 4. And let's go ahead and combine. So these two combine, so it's going to give me 13. And I have positive 6i and negative 6i, which gives me 0i, right? No i. I cancel out all my i's, so it's plus 0i. So my answer could be just 13. Now, this is a challenge to you people. I'm going to show you guys. The calculator will do this also, but I want you to try and do it yourself because it makes life easier if you know how to do the multiplication and the distribution. If you don't, it causes issues. Causes issues later on, but I'm trying to help you because, you know what, it is a tool to help. So, I'm going to do the first one I did on the line paper, so it's going to be parentheses 3 plus 2i, 2i, close, square. Right? Hit enter. Answer is 5 plus 12i. Same thing goes for the other one. 3 plus 2i, 3 minus 2i is 13. Alright, so it does work for multiplying all these. But again, challenge to you, just use it to answer questions. Don't go through and actually, just do it all in the calculator unless you feel that your math skills are lacking. Okay? Alright, so right here, this one right here, it says on October 16, 1843, walking across the Broom Bridge in Dublin, Ireland, Sir William Ron Hamilton came up with an idea for numbers that would work sort of like complex numbers instead of just the number I, the opposite of, and its opposite, negative I, squaring to give negative 1. He imagined that numbers I, j, k, each with opposites, that square to give negative 1. These numbers multiply each way is very interesting. I, j, k sometimes would give, I times j would give k, j times k would give I, k times I would give j, but the multiplication he imagined did not have a commutative property. Then those numbers were multiplied in the opposite order, they would give the opposite number. So, j times I would give negative k times j would give negative I, and I times k would give negative j. So a quaternion is a number that can be written in the form a plus bi plus cj plus dk, where a, b, and c, d are real numbers. Now, anyone recognize any of those variables? Anyone here take physics yet? Okay, did you have a three-dimensional vectors yet? Not yet? Okay, so three-dimensional vectors are I, j, and k. So they're in three different directions. I is normally referred to as the x direction, j is referred to in the y direction, and k would be referred to in the z direction. So if we're talking about the flat surface of this room, so from here to the door is the x, from me to the back of the room is the y, and the z would be the floor to the ceiling. That is the three-dimensional vectors that they're actually referring to. Okay? So, and it says right here, let this and this write expression in this form. Now, we're really not going to do this because all it is asking for you guys to combine like terms. Okay? We're not going to do three-dimensional vectors in here. I just wanted you guys to see that, you know what, there is a thing that actually does go along with this, and if you have physics, you might actually get to it, but right now we're not doing that. So we're going to go through and skip that. So, anyway, so you guys are going to use the rest of this time to make sure you are getting all your work done, your notebook ready. On Friday, it is getting turned in. And you guys like, share, and subscribe. Hit that notification button. And do not comment.